Yeah, you can't exactly just talk about anything with people here. Like, for those of you from uh, educated cities like Boston, um, Manhattan, New York, uh, Southern California, I guess San Diego would count, and yes, Seattle, that's where I'm from. You can start a random conversation with the person about pretty much a lot of things, even existentialism. Not in Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, the people here, shall we say, are the norm. They're just regular folks. It'd be like, for those of you from Tulsa or Oklahoma City, you know what I mean. Now, as for the suburbs, people tell me, well, the suburbs are beautiful. Summerlin and Henderson are really nice. No, not really. Everything here looks nice, but it's just all image. I mean, you see this beautiful house in Summerlin, or maybe near this one part of Vegas where you have a very old neighborhood and it's got well kept houses from the 40s and 50s. No, no, it's just a mirage, basically. First off, the electric bills will kill you in the summertime because no matter how powerful your air conditioning system is here, and by the way, the air conditioning systems here are as big as three refrigerators and they are at the rooftop. They're not the box units that you folks like on the East Coast, especially Philadelphia, New York, and Baltimore and DC are used to. They're not. They're huge units. But anyway, believe it or not, no matter how you slice it, no matter how well you care for your AC unit, at 115 degrees, it does tend to break down at least once or twice in the summer. And summers here start, I'd say about June. I came here in June through Death Valley. I needed a car, so I had to drive down here. June until I would say probably late October. In the middle of the summer, which is about July, early August, it's roughly 110 or 115 degrees by noon. So people here take sort of a siesta type break. Well, not so much so the way they would in Spain or Latin American countries. You could tell there's a slowdown around 1 or 2 in the afternoon until about 5 or 6. They're just the vibe you feel. It's you can tell. I mean, it's 115 degrees outside or 116, and then at night, of course, it's like 98. So it's extremely hot between June, and I'd say about October. Um, okay, so now at this point, I'm using YouTube to record um, these videos. I'm wondering if it will go past 3 minutes and 30 seconds, because if I just use my phone and then just upload it onto YouTube, it's just 3.5 minutes. So we'll see what happens here. So I'm just waiting, and then I'll just do the next video, the next segment. Okay, 3:33, 3:34. Well, it's looking good so far. So I guess I'll just keep talking until I get cut off. Right, anyway, the people here are just, I guess, as regular as you can get for people nationwide. And contrary to popular belief, the women here are not glamorous. I mean, they are, but they're expensive hookers at $5,000 a night. They do exist, and they're by appointment only. But I'm talking about local girls. Um, uh, if anyone out there is from San Diego or Southern California or parts of Miami, you'll understand. Your level of quality is much higher. Here, the girls have, I don't know what it is. It's the buffets and the dryness of the desert. They're not, they just don't look right. Um, I should leave it at that. They're not exactly what you would expect from that slick, glossy covered brochure that you see of Vegas. They're not like that at all. They're by San Diego standards, they'd probably be, I don't know, like a 6 or a 5. I tell people from around here, I tell them, or people anywhere, I tell them, in a place like San Diego, I mean, you see a beautiful looking girl. It's extremely beautiful. It's pretty. She's pretty and all that. And She's right there at the 7-Eleven. Seattle, you get that that fresh-faced upper middle class look. You know, the girl has been subjected to the proper diet and the proper amount of exercise all her life, and she's got good genetics, and you can just see it. Not in Vegas, not here, not here. And the locals tend to just dress like they shopped at Target or Ross or the 99-cent store, which makes sense because pretty much with their wages, that's what they can afford. Now, don't get me wrong, there are professionals here, doctors, lawyers, and such, but here in this environment, they're at the top. And they normally earn probably about 110, 100,000 a year, if that. And they live like kings, they live like potentates. And they live in places like Summerlin, or maybe some of them have high-rise penthouses off the strip. But speaking of which, the cost of real estate here booms and busts because, after all, gambling is discretionary income, and so it's the last to boom. I mean, if tech booms in San Francisco, or if the economy booms in general, then of course it eventually booms in Vegas because people have disposable income they'd like to gamble away. But you can get like a one-bedroom high-rise condominium just off the strip for less than $300,000, which by standards of San Francisco, New York, or LA, or Seattle even, would be a bargain. Trump Tower, in fact, Trump Tower doesn't have a casino, but it's a 5-star hotel. Trump Tower here, in fact, had studio condominiums available at one point for just $210,000. They're roughly about 400 square feet, but they come with all the amenities and white glove door service, of course. Let me see here. Oh, right, and grocery stores. Smith's is a big deal. Whole Foods, you'll find Whole Foods here, of course, but very few people go to it. They can't really afford it. It's not crowded like it would be in San Francisco or Seattle. But it is rather cheap here. It'd be like 1990, Bay Area, Southern California prices. 3 pounds of jalapeno, believe it or not, at this Mexican store chain called Mariana's. You can see it many times for 3 pounds for $1. Usually it's 2 pounds for $1. I mean, can you believe that? 2 pounds for $1. Other things like Crystal Geyser, natural spring water is about 89.99 cents. They have a cash and carry. It's called Smart and Final. That's the cash and carry chain here in Las Vegas. I'm here in Henderson. I'm working a dead-end fundraising job for now. I've decided to become a snowbird, which means that I'll travel back and forth from Seattle and Las Vegas. I'll be here in Las Vegas basically in the winter time, the winters. In Seattle, for the most part, anytime else. But this is a very typical place. You have a very generic-looking, brand spanking new office complex. It looks nice and all that, but again, it's all form and no substance. A lot of these places are empty. In fact, there are a lot of office spaces or office space here that's just empty. You can get a 100 square foot, 150 square foot office space in Vegas for less than $250. I saw one for $199, and it's just barren. There are a lot of for lease signs when it comes to apartments and office space, but again, based on Vegas wages, these are quite high. These prices are quite high. But if you're coming in from another part of the country, or you have some kind of a side hustle doing something elsewhere outside of this local economy, then everything's dirt cheap. Let's see here. Oh, right. A lot of crippled people here. I really am hesitant to say crippled rather than disabled, but I'm talking crippled, as in crippled, missing limbs, missing half their mind. You do also see a lot of senior citizens here, but that's a dead giveaway. That's how nice the weather is outside of the summers here. You see a lot of crippled people here. I mean, disabled would be a person that uses a wheelchair. Crippled means they can't even move the wheelchair themselves. They're so bad off that someone else has to do it for them. And then, surprisingly, you see a lot of homeless people here, the shopping cart people. They have shopping carts. They carry their whole lives in a shopping cart, and they go to an overpass or, this office complex, and they just relax and chill. And I figured, well, they're not from here anyway. But when they got here, they weren't in an office complex or going around in a shopping cart. They had assets. They probably just gambled it away or drank it away or fucked it away. Pardon my French. And there are a lot of people like that. In further videos, in future videos, I'll go up to Jerry's Nugget in North Vegas. There's this area, there's this one street nearby that has a lot of homeless people. It's a homeless encampment, I suppose. So it turns out if I just use YouTube to record this video, it goes a lot further. It's almost 11 minutes long, so I dare not take a chance to have it longer than this. I think I'll break it up in a small 8, 9, 10 minute segments, but I'll keep this running commentary going as long as I'm in Vegas for now. When I return to Seattle, I'll have more commentary then. But then, I know the past 2 or 3 videos have been just in this parking lot, but I'll have some of the strip, and I'll talk about how some casinos still don't charge for parking south of Sahara, like Treasure Island. Everyone else pretty much charges for parking. I'll show you places. I'll show you folks places where you can park just off the strip, just for free. These are like in the so-called, non-tourist areas, but they're pretty laid back. Vegas overall is a pretty safe city by Philadelphia or DC standards, but tourists have been known to get robbed. You really have to watch your back here. Everyone here has a gambling mentality for the most part, even the ones that don't gamble. I mean, after all, this whole place is saturated with this gambling mentality. That's how this Mojave Desert City functions, gambling. All right, so I'll start the next video either soon or later, but that's it for this segment.